I'm sorry for wearing a wife beater. I'm sorry. I just didn't know the meaning behind it. I'm sorry for wearing a wife beater. It's like I don't really wear tank tops. I don't. Hello, it's me, Matsu. Today we're gonna play GTA 5 for the 15,000th time in this decade. Today we're gonna play the GTA 5. We're gonna speedrun Fallout 4 for the 600th time. Yeah, I'm just wearing this tank top. This is the only time you'll see me wearing a tank top. See my tank top. I'm sorry for wearing a wife beater. I never knew the meaning behind it. I'm going to change clothing right now. I don't personally like wearing tank tops. So this sweater will have to do. We're now back in the 1970s. Oh wow. We're gonna drive my what's it called? It's not called a Skoda, it's called a what the fuck? It's the car, that car that every professor drove. It's not a Skoda Enyaq, it's like the Skoda, no, it's Siap Scania. What the fuck? What? I have literally memory loss. It's like that sort of car that went out of production, Scania. No, it's not Scania. A Swedish car. Saab, yeah, it's Saab. I'm gonna draw. Welcome to the 70s. I'm your professors today. We're gonna drive a Saab. We're gonna drive a Saab to my workplace. We're gonna drive my Saab that I still have parts all the way from the 90s. Saabs are getting rare now. Like Saabs are so difficult to repair now. I don't know, like the whole explanation, the whole reasoning is like, oh, well, subs are amazing. There's like billions of parts, and it's like there's gone 20 years. You know, like they're eventually we're gonna run out of Saab parts. You know, even if I like Saabs, it's just like let it die with the decade. I would say, you know, like buy yourself like a Skoda or something. Skodas are basically like the professor's vehicle now. Like every professor drives a Skoda. Skoda. Kjør ikke Skoda. Gå på Skoda, gå da. Skoda, kjøp ikke Skoda. Jeg kjører bare kollektivtrafikk. Jeg kjører bare bussen til Stavanger, og så kjører jeg til Bibelbeltet for jeg skal kjøpe fisk i Trøndelag, vet du faen. Ta kollektivtransport opp i nord. Tar kollektivtransport opp i Finnmark, så er det mye kollektivtransport. Du kan bare ta bussen til Oslo. Det tar bare 2 dager. Jeg kan ikke snakke den her. Det er bare det er ikke sånn jeg snakker. I don't speak that like Norwegian that much. Kurt Cobain's sweater. Wow. My sweater. I hope you like my sweater. It's so cool. Wow. I was like, it's my brother's 2024 Dirt Eater era sweater. I can literally show you the same sweater. I think the reason why he dropped this sweater and you just don't see it, like why I have it, and you know, is because I think his girlfriend must have knitted it because there was a breakup. I literally have yeah, the girlfriend knitted it, so like I just wore it. And this is the fucking fun fact. This is the first. This is my first sweater I wore in my first ever guitar video, which was a crappy cover of Nirvana with my hammer, and Hell Bomb Dirt Eater. It's like this 2024 EP before the band quits. There's like a photo shoot, I think. Hellbomb band. There it is. That's the sweater. That's my brother. Has the same sweater. I think it was to match the lead frontman, the bassist. There was another bassist, but he became the frontman and bassist. This is the same sweater, guys. This is their sweater. I like it. It's so cool. I like my sweater. I'm gonna drive my Saab to the workplace. I'm gonna get some matcha. I'm gonna go to the cafe to buy some matcha. I'm joking, but I'm not the guy that drives a cafe ever. Like, I've actually, the only local cafe is like a person that absolutely hates me. So I will not go there because last time I asked for a drink, she would just like stare at me with that death stare. So, you know, even if my brother was there once, I would avoid going there just to not piss her off. So I don't go to cafes. I usually just drink Monster Energy, and I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I only drink tea mixed in with milk and Monsters. Usually I'd have a coffee, but like this iced coffee. Only if I'm eating crackers or whatever, like chocolate crackers or whatever, I usually go for like something like that. Yeah. It says ex now. It's not his girlfriend's. But I wear the sweater because I wear a wife beater in beneath it, and you don't understand the meaning of a wife having a tank top nowadays. That's somehow toxic traits, so I'm not gonna wear it. According to YouTube guidelines, I'm not gonna wear that. But I think it looks cool, doesn't it? Wow, we're in the 70s. Orange and black. Wow, so stylish. Yeah, I'm gonna we're. You say you should play People Playing Ground. Should I play People Playing Ground? What's People's Playing Ground? What's People's Playing Ground? What's that game? What's that game about? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I like it. People's Prey. I think I've heard about it. It's a cool game. But I'm going to check. Living after midnight. Living after midnight. Stay away. Yeah. People Playground. I think I've heard about it. Yeah, this is the game that like it was like super popular back in 2019 when people like the Garry's Mod era, when people were like building actual like mathematical complexions. Bro, is this sassy today? Oh wow, I have to get my matcha because I'm streaming right after 16:50. I'm streaming right after 16:50. I'm gonna get my matcha because I'm an arts degree. That's the reason why I use it. I'm joking. I'm just literally joking. That's probably me if I moved to Stockholm. But I'm joking. I'm not gonna. That's literally just my joking accent. I'm not going to fucking. People's Playing Ground. I think I've heard about it. I would like to play Garry's Mod. You're temporarily disabled for the workshop. I have temporarily disabled. Oh, I thought it was like actually banned because I'm banned from the Steam market for some reason. But I've actually liked this game. Yeah, but I remember My Winter Car. I would actually play My Winter Car. Sarjalla Perkele vittu, saatana, Perkele vittu, My Summer Car, My Winter Car. Vittu, saatana. We're going to Yeah, we have that's 90 bundle. Yeah, this game is really cool. It's a shame it's still in early access, but it needs to get more updates, and that like is going to take like 3 years. But it's a really cool game. I like this game. But like streamers played it like back in like January of 2025. I remember them playing it. Like there were streamers already making video about it. We're going to By Daylight and we're going blah 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 blah. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna play some Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I've like the Dead by Daylight is a crazy game because like the people that have actually played Dead by Daylight, you know, those type of people like they don't actually play the game anymore. A lot of them just like stay away from the game now. They just like it's either they played for like 1 hour, but I literally play this game more than I do. I don't know. I usually play Dead by Daylight. I night drive. I do like I love to drive for fun and stuff. Like I pack in a shit ton of sunscreen, sunglasses, and a baseball cap, and I just like to drive for hours on end. I'm going to this other place in a month's time by now, so I basically am going to this place for like a course for like 8 months, and I'll be streaming there too, but I have to sort of find a way to, you know, isolate my voice because of the European privacy rules here in this country. Is genuinely fucking insane. If someone's in the frame, it could be 100,000 meters away. I don't want to take a picture. That's like, or I don't have my voice recorded. Literally anything regarding their likeness can be basically used, and that's just a sad fact. So I can't stream without like finding a way to navigate that sort of, and you know, so I'll have to find a way to like get the isolator on this thing so it does it correctly, and I have to have the camera pan to a specific angle so nobody can like actually see it besides my face. Yeah, because I'm dead scared of like getting in trouble there. We're gonna play some DBD. Like it was like that millennial accent when they were like sitting in the car, like the millennial accent, like Scooby Dooby Dooby Doo, or no, that's Seth Kinsel, that guy, like ice cream and like like that guy. But now it says like get with ice cream, like just 20 shorts of this. It's 20 shorts of that. Scooby Dooby Dooby Doo, and like he got like fucking 100 million views doing that, like 700 million streams. Oh god, like peak brain rot, honestly. That's like actually what's going to happen with people with arts degrees. They don't actually become architects, they just become like that. You know, the literal backrooms of the internet. That's literally the male art students versus the void art students. They get actually like architects. They sit in their crimson glass tiled mansion while designing the purest, or they become like a nurse. You know, it's either that. There's like the money is tight in this economy. We're living in a literal recession by now. It's a literal recession, and people don't want to talk about it. Money is fucking tight. With like the whole America. In America, it's like a very bad recession. I can't read the comments. I need to just get this phone.
Got to find Sam.
Because it's a Samsung, they keep dying. They have the worst battery ever. So you have to have it charged 24/7 with the Samsungs. Like the batteries, they were super nice phones, but the batteries will be drained dry in 12 seconds. You know, if you actually try to, you know, use it as your workhorse. That's they have the Ultra series and stuff. Yeah. Oh, that accent like this. I listen to Bruce Springsteen. He's so cool. I listen to K-pop. They're so amazing. And like, it was like the frappe matchuccino matcha. No, it was like, I don't remember exactly. It was like that, but like Wingstop, Buffalo Wings, Buffalo Wingstop, Buffalo Wingstop, Buffalo Wing. Go 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 go. Like they have that ultra zillennial type accent, like literally being like that. Oh my god, the TikToker. Yeah. That was like actually like the quirk shungus like of the early 2020s. That was literally, I want that in period of the internet scraped off the face of the earth. That was so cringe. It's crazy how, I don't know. Like they take themselves super seriously in the late 2010s. Listen to George Harrison. They make that super heavy, fuck yeah, metal, fuck yes, black metal, fuck yeah. And then, you know, they have the, and then, you know what's wrong, but sir. And then, you know, super matcha, cappuccino, caramel, frappe, oh, you know, Coca-Cola, caffeine, zero, matcha with the chocolate sprinkles, syrup, 100% syrup, you know. It's crazy. No, it's I can't take this decade seriously anymore, especially the people. It's they like want to be taken 100% serious, and you know they do quirky shit like that. You know, I get it. You know, I'm an entertainer. That's literally my job. Like, I have an arts degree. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I always wanted to be a musician, all this stuff. So, you know, it's just like the way of life, honestly. Oh my god, I love the Janteloven. I love it. I love the Janteloven. It's so cool. It's so quirky. Oh my god, it's so cool. Yeah, that's like how it do. Like, but I like Monster Energy. Yeah, my name is Kyle. I like Monster Energy. It's the most coolest stuff ever. It gives you a fresh white Monster. It's the coolest stuff ever for post-workout. Especially the pink Monsters, but I don't want to be seen with that in public. Oh, like that's... The pink Monsters are actually really good, honestly. But I like the purple ones and the mixed. Those are my two favorites, but I have to get them imported. So I have to pay about 50 euros or like $40 to get them sent here. And that's only like a 24 case, so I have to literally enjoy every single sip of it. It's like... They should have like actual like... we have like this wine monopoly in our country. I wish there was like that for energy drinks, where you can actually get imported energy drinks for like a fraction of the price. Fuck, that was so close. I like, what's that guy, the human serviette or whatever, that, Nardward, you know. Whoa, so Cellar Papyrus, you are an upcoming musician. Can you tell us a little bit about your music? It's like, no. Okay, but I have this cool ultra rare record of your first demo, which I stole from your grandmother's house. How did you find that? What the fuck am I? You know. Nardwar is actually really cool. He's like the ultra nerd if you really want to get into like nerdy stuff and you like deep dive into discographies, and then Nardwar just pops up. Hey David Gilmour, I actually found your stolen guitar from 1961. Like, how did you find that? Like, I just I went into every house addict in Cambridge, and you know I just found it. Like, well, that's a little bit extreme. That's like. They actually found Paul McCartney's lost bass. That's actually crazy, honestly. Spicy macchiato, la booby, frappe macchiato, pistachio, jalapeno, coffee. Oh my god. That's like, Yeah, that's going to be a literal clip, you know. But yeah. Is that guy from the football team getting literal death threats because he didn't pass it to Haaland? All you had to do was pass the goddamn ball, CJ. All you had to. Yeah, pink versus white monster, literally. This guy's literally fuming right now. He got me.
Let me down.
Like the insanity of Gen Zers being obsessed with Red Dead Redemption 2, making like fan out of it and stuff, and like literally, like, I get it, but it is something about it that just gets me on my nerves. Like Gen Z TikTokers getting into Red Dead Redemption. I think Micah's super hot. Micah's the coolest guy. I get it, but it's getting. It's like it's already like I remember my first day when I played it when I was fucking 15 years old. I played that fucking thing to death. I cried when Mike Arthur died in my TV when I was a kid, and my mom, and the Daily News, the Saturday Night Live, I have to turn off the TV, and like, my God, Arthur's dying, Arthur's dying, like, I don't give a shit, the Saturday Night Live, I have to watch it. It's like, yeah, then, you know, and then I have to literally move my Xbox to a literal different screen so I could watch the ending in the corner of my room while the TV was running the Saturday Night Live. That actually happened. But yeah, that was crazy. I think I'm done. I can pretend the sun is good. I love FNAF. Think I'm just happy. Think I'm just happy. Think I'm just happy. I do like Nirvana. I have total respect for him. I have like a Jag Stang and stuff. I literally bought a Jag Stang guitar. Fucking cry. I drove for 8 hours to fucking buy a Jag Stang because those are super rare where I come from in my country. And I don't even. That was like when I was quitting my Nirvana phase because Jesus fucking Christ, I have, you know, bought so much Nirvana shit, and I would like to play on it if I actually, you know, like, had the grant or whatever, but I just don't have it in me anymore. I would love to play covers and all this stuff, but it needs to be done right, and I need to find a way to actually get it sounding right, and I just can't make anything, you know. But I have some few cool ideas. I love Monster Ultraviolet and Monster Max. It's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, but I actually like mixed and ultraviolet. I actually wore a cowboy hat today and had a blue sweater and everything. So if I had like took some photo shoots. The only thing I did yesterday was like I had 3 sets of different photo shoots, and I spent about an hour and a half taking at least 150 pictures with my camera. And like, how the fuck have you so much energy to take photos and all this stuff? And you know, I just do it because I'm so bored in my free time that you know, apart from streaming, I love to just you have to have an ego to do music and stuff, but it is a very cool thing to do in general. Season grade reset. Okay. But yeah, like I went out to the blazing hot sun, had a couple of, you know, ball caps and sunglasses, took them off and took a couple of pictures here and there at 3 different locations. So yeah, I did that for like a couple of hours, you know, and like I have that energy in me because I want to take as much photos as I'm young as I can. I really wish I could do it in a band environment because of the ultra insane privacy laws where I live. You're just not simply allowed to do almost anything without having like a multi-million-dollar label and actually be successful, because if you're not successful, everyone will just guilt-tripped and feel, you know, they'll just feel like ashamed of trying, you know, different things, and, you know, trying to lift their spirits up in 24/7, and then, you know, they're going to quit is the problem I have, you know. It's like, come on, you know, we're doing this stuff, you know, we're the next big generation of musicians. Like, I don't want to play, I don't want to, I think it's stupid, I want to work in a, you know, I want to do something else, I want to smoke weed every day, and, you know, I don't want to live with my, you know, I want to hobo max, I want to, you know, what's it called, I'm hobosexual, you know, I want to live with my girlfriend while she pays for everything, like, you know, like, and they were like your bassist in the band. Like, it's getting ridiculous now, this generation of people. But like, I totally get it, but like, when you have a generation that is so self-aware, it's crippling. I don't know how we can fix this or reverse this in any sort of major capacity.
It's simply, we cannot reverse this. This is impossible to reverse. This is a generational collapse that was happening in a long time, you know.
That's just Slava Zizek.
Simply put, we cannot reverse this.
I want to have a different character, but I don't know which one I want to take. I think Mikaela Reid is good. Jonna Lake Oil. I think they reversed their voice actor because it was like outed for being nonce or whatever. She's like everybody uses her, so I should just use her. Son? What? What did I talk about? I have no idea what I'm talking about anyways.
Oh yeah, Slava Zizek. Yeah, hello, we are going to talk about the impossible systemic collapse of the
I don't know, that's like how he sounds in my head.
Systemic collapse of the, you know, Gen Z society. You're stuck on the fucking phones watching anime 24/7. You got to get up here, I see this is hard work, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That's a slower G-Jack in my own head. I was supposed to go to a mountain trip, but I overslept today. I literally sleep for like 13 hours a day. It's fucking crazy. But that's one thing I actually like. One thing I lost so much weight is that I slept. I slept for like sleeping. You lose a lot of weight by just like sleeping, not eating that much. If you're like a big sleeper. Do I watch anime? I don't anymore. I used to watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid back when I was 13 and had long hair and flannel shirts. But I haven't watched Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maids. I watched also that sort of like, there was a Nagasita or whatever, what the fuck is called, Nawagavi or something, that kid that was a, you know, a fucking literal, like, English exchange student, and he was in that fucking school. I was like, super cringe as shit. I only read like 2 novels before quitting anime completely. I understand it was like a, it was to dream about, you know, having that dream, a passion about something. Yeah, that's Nagaruto, I think. And, I only watched it because, I was getting first introduced to anime. It was the only fucking book that was in my local store, you know, my library, and I was doing that for like 3-5 novels, and I quit completely because it was just lusting, and just like people who literally genuinely, you know, wanted to be something else with their, you know, life, like the chronically online, those who sit in their boardroom all day, or, you know, like that's. What's it called? The general Hagareto, whatever. The people who sit inside all day, you know, who are like 32 or whatever. That's like the whole generation of people. You know, just people daydreaming about, you know, life fantasies that they'll never achieve because of the, like the generational collapse. There is absolutely devastating. I wouldn't read anything. I have dyslexia, but I still just don't like to delve into fantasies that much. I really want to keep things realistic. Gooners and Hakaruto, whatever the fucking word is, when they're like sitting inside, you know, and the neats basically, like, who are never going to get a girlfriend. They're like with their body pillow. That whole generation of like Japanese people who sit inside. Even girls do that, but there was such a massive population of dudes and such a tiny population of women, I think, or girls in the country, and most of them didn't want to even date. And these guys were just like sitting, you know, and in their like Japanese apartments. And Japan is like a massive country, like a massive island, you know. Like I've seen that, and I knew exactly that people were reading this sort of stuff to escape the real life. I want to just be a musician and actually perform live and get my stuff, my music, my concept albums actually like released as EPs. Gooners, it's even worse with the goonettes. I'm not drawing like, but book talk is a literal thing. The goonettes and stuff, like I've seen so many like on so many used markets, they're just selling their like actual piles and bookshelves of goonettes materials, you know, the book talk. That's also one thing with mangas and stuff. It's just most of them might be book tops, or they're semi-book talk. They're sort of like edging in that sort of thing. So like that, it's the safe book talk, and it's the other thing that's like actually, you know, literal hentai, you know. And I found out that this is exactly just, you know, they're dreaming for a life that they'll never have, you know. And when you have that outsider perspective, you just don't want to get into absurd. There was this whole anime culture back in the 2020s, like the early 2020s, so the late 2010s. That whole manga culture was crazy. And most people in my art school, which I went to, were delved and absorbed into anime. And they were fantasizing and drawing prospectively anime and all this stuff. And I was more of a traditional painter type guy. I'm very outdated in my way of thinking and the way I live and the way I do art. You know, I should have been born like in the I shouldn't have been born in I should have been born in the 80s or whatever, or the 70s. Because like I was raised by like early 60s parents, you know. And they were 30 in their 2000s, really doesn't matter. They had like that weird perspective, you know. And I got drilled that into my head, you know, because I have that 2000s kid mindset, because I was like drilled. I had barely any friends, so I got like, you know, I had that sort of way of life very early on. So like the people that I see nowadays with like no hearing loss and just like kind of absorbed into media, and you know, they just literally are completely Americanized and Anglicized. I totally get their point, but I just can't live that life. Well, I can't be social about it, is what I'm trying to say. Be outgoing and talking about it all the time. Monster energy, and my head is in my veins. Up to the valley, and I know that I will pass away one day. Monster energy. I can't fall asleep because I don't want to play. I don't like that. That's one of my favorite songs. Is Anime by Negative XP. I wish he would have released that as a single. I would literally buy it as like a 35 RPM. 45. I don't think I can stream the song. I know that I will pass away one day. Monster energy. I would love to play his songs live. Like that would be my fucking dream. To really see like 4 free Negative XP songs live. That would be so cool. With Negative XP, that would be actually crazier. Just ask anything, I'm just out of questions. Green is the color of eyes, deceives the mind. Time is the color of the sky. Couple old clerk had a wooden leg. He won it in the war in 1944. Gobber cake. I got a medal too. Very much, but she doesn't mind. She's off to see some land all the way, and the year goes up while she goes down, down. Joker, I'm a smoker. What's your favorite song from Kurt Cobain's Montage of Heck? I'm just going to read into it. Poison's one of my favorite ones. Talk to Me is also really cool. There was this other song I don't remember the title of. Burn the Rain is very cool. Do Re Mi is way too pretentious. It's overplayed to death. But I like Burn the Rain. Poison is really cool. It's one of my favorite ones, is Poison. I'm going to take a look, because I think there was other things. She says I'm being and I don't know when I've been gone for so long. She says I'm being later, guys. Montage of Heck. I haven't watched the thing in full length, sorry, but I just didn't listen to it that much. I've listened to like the best songs, but I think I lasted halfway before just quitting. Clean Up Before She Comes is really cool too. Montage of Heck, I think it's unreleased still to this day. Montage of Heck is crazy as hell. And I love her. I did listen to it to death. Play Beans. Beans. She Only Lies is also cool. Poison's Gone is one of my favorites. She should have been a son. She should have been a son. She should have stood out in a crowd. She should have made her mother proud. And if you cut yourself, you will make 'em happy. And if you will make 'em happy. Now you're in a rocky road. You're cruel and cruel horror. The thing about Norwegians, I don't like to read the lyrics at all when listening to songs that I like. I listen to the lyrics maybe 3 years afterwards, but like before, like I get that emotional rush for like multiple years on end. I just like to keep that good feel until I play it to death, and then I'll listen to the lyrics. Usually that actually keeps the song quality really up. I just don't read the lyrics because I'm not native to English. So I just like to have the instrumental and the vocal as a part of the melody before I listen to the words and get like my whole perspective blown out of the water with it. So I'll take like 3 years before I actually will listen to the fucking lyrics and analyze and study all the whole stuff. But Kurt said himself he didn't want his songs to be analyzed to death. But I Love Myself and Want to Live is one of my favorite songs too of his songs. It's a really cool song. Even if you have a cold still, when Sunday, what's that all time? I like Kurt Cobain's 1994 era, like in the Euro tour. I like this European Euro tour. Like the Euro tour is my favorite tour. That's why I bought the Jag-Stang. I thought the Jag-Stang was like sort of untapped potential and sort of Gen Z's way, generation-wise, to actually sort of collect and try to revert the mistakes that the zillennials try to do with their sort of hipster folk. Oh hey oh hey oh hey oh oh hey oh oh hey oh hey oh hey oh. Yeah, that's like the indie sort of stuff, you know. She's so cool. She's tanning herself, and that's cool. We're gonna eat at the Millennial Burger Place, and we're gonna do it now. It's 2013. We're only gonna live once. We're never gonna die. It's fire in our soul. We gotta go home together. Yeah, that's how it worked. But yeah, that's only one. That's sort of how it went. And I was only one streamer. I guess I fucked up, but that's how it worked out. I thought it was going to be friendly for once, but no. Just fucking smashed my head in with his stupid hatchet. And then yesterday was like I had 3 sets of different photo shoots and I spent about an hour and a half yeah. I'm just gonna eat so I don't eat on camera that much, but yeah, that killer was super annoying. I was so close to winning. it was like the frotted matcha. It was like, I don't remember exactly. It was like that, but like when you stop floating, floating stuff. from Los Angeles. Okay, we're gonna get some little bit of sunshine. But I'm going to play some guitar. I'm gonna play some guitar. I don't want to get sunburnt. Fuck. You can feel the dead skin just dripping by the sweater. That means it's made by pure human loving quality and void love and femcel care. What am I supposed to say? You know? What the fuck am I supposed to... All you had to do was pass the ball to Holland. All you had to do. All you had to do. I used to be twink, okay? I used to have twink vibes before those dark circles in my eyes, which is genetic. Everyone in my family has it. And those facial, you know, talking, smiling lines, as they're called. Gen Zers on TikTok are obsessed to death. You know, they are scared to get smiling lines, so this is reason why I don't talk, smile, or even make any facial gestures, or don't even eat or chew anything. That's because these things in your face make that wrinkle, so you can't even smile. So and like, oh my god, you know, they want to look like they're fucking 18 at 38, you know, and I get it, you know. I totally get it, honestly, but like if you're going to be a influencer or, you know, something, take as much photos as you can when you're young and start a career as young as possible and just continue, you know, going all in it, not being so overprotective, unless it's your voice and shit like that. But like people caring about their face and all that stuff, it's crazy now. I totally get it, but you know, you're not even supposed to talk. You're supposed to talk very, like, short. You know, it's like crazy, you know? Like, if your face even tries to move itself, you know, don't even bother. Like, it's crazy like that, but I get it. Nobody wants to look old anymore. But I look older regardless. Since I was 16, people have said, are you employed? You know, and I get it. You know, people have always thought I look older. I look more shud. I look more sub 5. I look more shopped. But you know, it's just life. You know, I was born looking old. That was just how I was born. Okay, I didn't do any cancer. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. I was just born this way. There's people who are born pretty boys and they can smoke and drink as much as they want, and they can still look like Justin Bieber, you know, in the 2015 era, you know. It's just genetic, you know, and how you're born into it. Unless you are like super duper like anti-prevention and you're just like literally, you know, live a very, very dangerous lifestyle, I think you're, you know, it's mostly good. Because like pretty boys can do shit tons of drugs and drink and all this shit and still look fine. Until they're like 38 or 32, until it all comes crashing down. Like people I've known around, they literally look like pretty boys, and they've been drinking daily since like 2015, you know, let's say, and they're completely fine. And then, you know, they hit the wall at like 31, I guess. Like it's like a bang, you know, like that sort of progression. When they're 38, they start drinking a little bit more. They get into that red wine, drinking daily, smoking weed, cigarettes, snus, and all this stuff, just combined with a very, very unhealthy life and eating habits. Like, like or vegan or stuff like that. It is just a living tragedy that people like have to be so like people have to be so fed up about what people eat. Like, it's crazy. You know, like when I have visitors that are vegan, I'm not even allowed to eat meat. Like, what is this stupid stuff? Like, you should have a plate for people who eat stuff and the make a dish for the other ones, you know, not force everybody to conform to your things. That's actually one of the things I hate. It's like you have to smoke weed, you have to smoke weed with me. If you don't smoke weed with me, I'm not going to be your friend. If you don't smoke weed in this family dinner, we're not going to talk to each other. Like, you know what? You let the guy live, for Christ's sake, you know? That's you know, that's just crazy. Some people don't want to do that. Simple as. It took me 3 times to refuse, you know, nicely. And this decade is getting more and more attention every year, you know. It's a very tense decade. Lots of just polarization and all this stuff. It's absolutely crazy. Like, it makes me miss the late 2010s and the mid 2010s even more. Like, I want to be back in 2018 any day of the year. I just want to wake up back in the, you know, 2016, 2017, before like the insane, you know, polarization came into this world. It is actually really sad. That's just my philosophy. It just became worse. People just became more themselves, you know? What am I even talking about? But that's just how the world works. Graduated in any music academy. I have absolutely no credentials whatsoever. And if you value credentials as experience, I totally get your point, but that's just my way of life. little bit like Duster. That sound with the guitar amp. Gen Z is literally that, but with this Actually sounds like you're crawling. That is literally just my shoegaze rig, and it's my shoegaze rig is literally it's a true spring reverb, auto shift harmonist, mimicry doubler, looper slash echo delay, plurichorus, EQ, muff, distortion, tube screamer, compression, and a wah. That's it. So you get that sort of weird girl pop, whatever the fuck, that sort of weird tone. It's really fun because with shoegaze is unlimited options because it literally can be the most avant-garde riff you can ever imagine, and then you put some reverb and delay and crank up the harmonizer, you get this weird tone, and that's so interesting, bro. I've never heard so interesting complex riffs, and you can just like fuck, you know, do whatever you feel like. I think it's fun to just noodle around, because that's literally how you get something original nowadays that isn't fucking done 100,000 times. It's just do stuff like that and hope to God that it sticks. Just add some vocals, add some bass, and add some drums, and then you're done. That's all there is. There's nothing else to it. And hope to God that it sticks. Okay? Like, maybe keyboards, you know. Correct a little bit of all that. That's just literally the raw emotion of the guitar. I think that's pretty much it. With guitar, I just need to take a break. It's getting so warm, I need to take almost a shower now. I shouldn't wear a sweater, that's stupid. Hello. I think my problem with music is that, you know, we've come to the point where I think we've come to the literal point and conclusion that we literally have gone so much and we have done everything that the fretboard can literally do. We have literally done basically so much in the past decade that the shit that I would be doing now would be cool back in the 70s and back in like you know, the 80s and 90s, but the shit that we do now is so technically complex and so soulless but very cool and very musically correct and flexible that the sort of stuff that we are doing now is essentially, you know, just being performist, you know? And we literally have come to the point where we are so technically advanced and so skilled that those who are behind are like not supposed to be musicians and stuff. Like what I'm trying to say is that people are just flexing, and you know, it's like, oh, like they'll start, you know, flexing like their soul, you know, music degree and their insane practice, and like only music students actually care about you know, doing that. It's putting your heart and soul into it and not appearing like a fucking jerk, you know, doing it. That's the whole thing. That's the reason why some people loved the band's early material before they just bought some mansions in LA and started, you know, going all international and fake. They just don't have it in them anymore. The generosity and the, you know, the thing is that the product that you're delivering and the music needs to be genuine. It needs to come straight from the heart, straight after getting divorced. Like the whole gut wrenching feeling needs to be there in the pit of your stomach, you know, and you need to do it correctly, and you need to be doing it early. You can't just procrastinate for 5 years and then you finally release it, and then it's an ultra compressed piece of garbage that, you know, people ask, okay, can we hear the demos now? Can we please just hear the demos? We are fucking certain that the demos hear better than the stuff that you ultra polished, you know. And it's like 20 years, for 10 years later, we released our demos for this album that nobody liked. That's like, and then the demos come out. It's like, this shit was actually good. What did they do? This stuff, their earlier stuff was better. Their literal demos are better from that album. And that's the whole demo side of the album. Literally the most raw and no compression, no EQing. That's so good compared to the stuff that we have now. And it's like, oh shit, they actually realized, you know, it's like, that's the sort of stuff that I'm fear-mongering, just procrastinating, becoming too good and performist and perfectionist to my own good, that my earlier material becomes its own thing, you know? I still want to live in a mansion, you know, I still want to be rich and famous, but I haven't gone anywhere, you know? But, you know, that's the sort of the thing I don't want to have, you know, where you're becoming too famous for your own good to the point where people become angry at you for even, you know, or becoming too advanced and there is no signature sound. It's very robotic. It comes out as very, very expectable. Like, here's the same Benz, here's the same Pink Floyd, you know. And nobody wants to actually hear anything original. Everyone just keeps sort of taps out immediately, you know, in bands and stuff. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you pour into it, unless it doesn't say, if it doesn't say Sony on the publisher, they won't probably even care. You know, there's too many artists for the amount of people that want to listen to music. That is music, rock music. They have sort of never capitalized on the classic indie rock scene at all. It's a very quiet and sort of sad conclusion.
You know,
time to record some shorts, and I don't know. I really want to drive out, but I don't want to stop the stream. But yeah. There's nothing else to do and play DBD, and that's pretty much it. But I guess I will record some shorts and call it a day, basically. I'll try to do that riff, you know, just re-record it. I'll just play it on the jack stang, checking if any alternative goths will listen, and that's never gonna happen. But yeah. I just wear hearing aids because I don't know how loud I'm playing. And I also need it to be as loud as how the microphone can actually absorb it. Because sometimes if it's too quiet, the microphone will just do a terrible job. So I'll just record some shorts. You get the influencer's perspective. I'm not an influencer by any means. I don't get paid, I don't get promoted, I don't get sponsored. I'm basically the anti-influencer. I'm just a nobody that does this stuff for fun, because I'm too autistic for my own good. But yeah, that's going to be it. What the fuck? You're seeing both sides of the spectrum. You're seeing both sides of the coin. You're seeing everything at once. I just wear black to make me look more skinnier. I'm actually fat as fuck. So, yeah. I'm not really, I'm just... it's genetic, yeah. Not really. I could go skinnier, but that would be very bad for my health. I've been actually talked into not going underweight, because that's happened last time. People got concerned. Oh shit, this is... I think that's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Imagine if I just release my EP and it has no nothing of these songs that I just played to you. None of them. It's just all original songs that I made just now, and the producer just told me to scrap every demo that I ever made because it's worthless junk. That's going to happen one day. Believe you me, when that goth bassist leaves the band, everything will be done from scratch and it'll be all gone, all erased from the internet. I don't know. Can't have no room for demos anymore. I had this old demo called Bipolar Queen. Bipolar Queen I haven't remembered correctly. That's why I just never got it right. It's drowned in my demo somewhere, but I really like that song. Something like that. then the whammy bar fell down again. The whammy bar on these stupid jazz masters is the worst thing I've ever seen since the invention of sliced cheese. The worst thing ever. Absolutely useless, you know, they just fall down and then expect you to still have a grant to still use them. No wonder why jazz players hated them, they fucking fall down instantly. I need to fix the whammy bar adjustment on that Jagstang. But I think my voice is a little bit lower. But I like the Bipolar Queen. It was one of my fucking songs that I absolutely want to get finished one day. Bipolar Queen is just like a bipolar queen in my dream. The past doesn't exist, something like that. It's just like about like the average like bipolar 1 type, like actual like obsession up before obsession, you know, 3 years ago it was before obsession, but it's literally poking at like the you know, bipolar queens, as I call them, just like you know, like the homicide or what, like the bipolar homicides or the bipolar like serial cheater cases, you know, people who start cheating because they have bipolar, or you know, well like they are in a manic episode. Like it is about that, and sort of trying to let go of the past and trying to, you know, find a place. Because like the earlier you get help with bipolar, I don't have bipolar, thank fuck, but I know plenty of people who do, and the earlier you get treatment and the earlier you discover it is the earliest you can live with it on a normal day-to-day basis. The people in their 40s and their 30s who've had it undiagnosed are pretty much the hardest, like the super very hard. It's absolutely devastating. I feel so bad for them. It is absolutely a horror case. Like the people with actual severe autism, or people with actual autism that, like me, I went undiscovered with autism since I was fucking 20, you know? 20. I got diagnosed with autism at 20. You know, I should have got diagnosed when I was like 13, 12, when I was struggling as fuck in school, getting bullied to death, you know? There should have been something like that. But I lived in the sort of local country. Unless you weren't severely autistic, you were just like never a case, like a big case. In the cities and stuff, they actually got it right. But in the countryside, they were just like, I don't say they were not doing their job properly, but like, I was lost between borders. The people didn't do their fucking job, you know. I'm like, that's how I kind of work in the medical industry. Like if you're in the far countryside, people will just stop caring that much unless they can like see with their eyes open. It is like you have to actually push it very hard. And in the modern day medical teams, like they actually fucking, you know, they can actually do something about it. Like but back then, even in like the early to mid 2010s, they were still living carefree like it was in the early 2000s. They just kept doing the shit on repeat since like since the new millennium, you know, because like people were stuck back in like 2006 all the way back into like COVID. I would say like people were just like going on autopilot. I would say going on autopilot ever since like 2016. The vibe felt like people were still stuck in 2008 all the way till like COVID happened and everyone got the internet and everyone became like main character syndrome and horrified, and you know that shit did more damage than like fucking you know, the COVID did more damage to people than you will ever fucking realize. It was devastating, like stuck 3 years in their own home with only the internet and your family. Some people without a family, you know, it absolutely wrecked some people. You know, they need community and all that stuff, and some people are just too far gone. You know, but now it's like actually like unless you're not professional, you get like fired instantly. There's like you can't go on autopilot like you used to back in pre-COVID era. You know, before the internet and everything became like mass internet social media, and people could actually complain on Facebook, and you know things actually fucking went somewhere. Back then, you know, there wasn't any like that, but now, thankfully, there's actually are people. You know, if you don't do your job properly, you actually will get fucking fired for it. But now everybody gets fired, you know, because nobody knows how to fucking do shit correctly. That's how you like see everybody just like like they don't resign per se, but they're like in England and the UK. It is actually like that, like the NHS and shit. Holy crap. I feel so bad for the people in England. That's one of the reasons why I just don't go to America and the UK, even though I romanticize it. I want to travel, I want to live in America. It's usually the healthcare, the taxes, and basically government help and shit. And you know, living in the US is very difficult unless you actually get in a job that actually pays you pretty fairly, and you are like supported by the job, and you are actually secured. If you lose your job, you're on your own. In Canada and stuff, they actually have a little bit of a help, but like, you know, people romanticize the actual America when college was basically free to next to nothing. So traveling to the US, you have to have family there, and I don't have family in like America. If I was ever going to America, I would have to be half American or have like actual close relatives living in like Miami or something, who are like starting a new life there. That would be the only realistic case. If I'm just going to stuck with 2 briefcases in that sort of modern day recession as we're seeing, and you know, people just quitting their job on the spot, the Gen Zers quitting their jobs on the spot, I wouldn't live there. No, even though I really wish I would. It is hyper competitive, and it's borderline rude. I would wish I could travel and live in the America, but like Americans tell me, you be grateful that you live in your country, because I would fucking be here, living here in a heartbeat. You know, don't go to the U, because like there is no opportunity. The American dream has been dead since like the 2000s, basically. So yeah, there is no like options. I became, you know, before I became a legal adult, like I'm 21, I can drink liquor in the US and all this shit, and now I can literally just do whatever I want there, technically. I can just go to the US, buy a plane ticket, and take a car and drive down like the I-44 or whatever, the interstates. I can literally just do that. I have a car license and everything. It is crazy. But there has been like horror stories of Norwegians like actually going to the US. They took a car in Pennsylvania, they got stopped by traffic, and now they're getting literally what was it called? They're getting like there was like the guy got like sent to jail for like 8 months, and he got kicked out of the country or something like that. It was something like that, insane, for like a traffic violation or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't go there, sadly. I would love to live in Wisconsin or North Dakota for a couple of months as like a student, but I would only go there to get my sort of perspective reset, like go to the UK to sort of just get but there is no music. Like if I thought I was going to be a musician in the US, I would just forget it, you know. I'm not a pop musician, I'm not an IDM or like have a soul crushing contract, but yeah, I would only live in like the UK to sort of get my perspective reset and sort of get kind of semi-traumatized because, you know, of the culture shock. Because I've been to Glasgow and I absolutely loved Glasgow. I absolutely fucking loved it. It was absolutely what I wanted. It was like that raw, unfiltered nature. I loved Glasgow. It was the best thing I've ever been to. It was such a nice place. People there were actually unfiltered. They didn't feel like they're fucking, you know, like they're... It just felt like a hybrid country like we live in. And it's not like as bad as Sweden where you just can't even talk to strangers almost. Or I can't even Swedish. But yeah. But yeah, that's sort of how it goes. I'm gonna play one match of DBD and call it a day. It's getting It's warm as a kite. It is warm. It's very warm. I only wear a sweater for like for like branding. That's all it matters. I don't actually wear it like in that sort of blazing hot heat. I only do it for camera. It's so hot. It is insanely hot. There we go. I don't like wearing tank tops, but I guess I can do it in one sitting. Yeah, I don't like wearing tank tops. It just makes me look. Like it's not me. I've never been a tank top guy. I'm just like a classic flannel shirt type guy. But I bought like a pack of 6 of them in all black back in the summer of 2022 or something like that, and I just like thought I was like I was underweight as hell. I was like 69 kilos. Let you mind, I'm like 186 centimeters or something like that. 168, I think. So, but I looked good back then. I was like, I still look the same, but yeah, like the one thing is like being skinny and tall is the best thing you can possibly be. I should go down like underweight. That's like having long hair and being skinny. It's sort of like my what's it called? My main goal, as it says. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Loading player stats. I'm getting this white Strat body from China. I'm going to take that and try to mod it into the other guitar. Because you're so far away from me. You have disconnected the server that violates the whole anti-cheat code. What the fuck? Have I been... What? Hosts anti-cheat codes. Have I been banned? What? I'm a streamer. I'm streaming. I'm never been using hacks. Hosts anti-cheat codes. What? What is this? You have disconnected the server because of a failure to validate the hosts for easy anti-cheat. Okay. What? Are you joking me? I guess I can't play DBD now.